Hi everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Kirsty Harvey and I wanted to share with you a speech that I gave last night at a wonderful event called the Black Tie and Sparkle Ball at Grand Central Station, Glasgow, in aid of cystic fibrosis. My name is Kirsty Harvey and I'm a hair and makeup artist. I'm also a humanist celebrant, which means I conduct wedding ceremonies for couples in love. And I'm also a bit of a globetrotter. I love to travel, and this year alone, I visited Dubai, Thailand, Japan, and New York. And I also have cystic fibrosis. When I was diagnosed at 9 months old, in 1984, you can all do the maths, average life expectancy for cystic fibrosis was young at 14. As I grew, I became aware that it was 18. And as my daily occurrences were dictated at times by this illness, I was acutely aware that my life was not the same as my friends. At 13, a spate of recurrent chest infections meant that my parents were sat down and told to prepare for the worst. But with the help of a nasal gastric feed, which I was taught to do by myself to assist with weight gain and fight infections, I rallied round. At 19, what can only be called an intervention with my parents and my CF team took place, telling me that if I didn't stop my partying, I was at university and I wanted to be like everyone else and focus on my health, I wouldn't be here in a year. I buckled down, I got on with my treatments, and once again, I rallied round. At 22, I met the love of my life, my soulmate, my rock, and Doogie. Doogie was an outdoorsman. Doogie, who made me strive to be better, healthier, and live longer just so I could spend time with him. And at 23, only a year into our flourishing romance, when it's still meant to be the honeymoon phase, when we were in our prime, I had what turned out to be a massive lung collapse in the middle of his bedroom. My lungs had been so damaged by cystic fibrosis that they were now lined with blister-type nodules, and one of these had burst, causing the air to suddenly leave my right lobe. It was, and still is, the scariest moment I have ever experienced in my life. Sure that I was dying, I couldn't even hold Doogie's hand, afraid that if I cried, I wouldn't be able to breathe the little that I could breathe already. As we waited for the ambulance that I was sure was not going to arrive in time, I told Doogie that I loved him and that I was sorry. And I sent my parents a text message. Let me explain, I couldn't breathe to talk, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning. In this message, I said my goodbyes, how fortunate I was to have had them as parents, and to have had my sisters, how much I loved them, how my nieces and nephews were the most wonderful human beings in the world. And no matter what, I would always be proud of them. A trip to A&E, a huge chest drain later, and I rallied round. I was then placed onto the transplant waiting list and knew that there was a 1 in 2 chance that I would not live long enough to be given the chance of life due to a shortage of donors. The day after my 26th birthday, I was given the most precious gift I will ever receive in my lifetime, the gift of life. Having been on 24-hour oxygen and using a ventilator at night, I was now a beautiful shade of blue, as my lungs were failing me and my body was functioning on less than a Coke can of oxygen. Now, ordinarily, someone my height and weight would be functioning on about 3 litres of oxygen. You see, that's what cystic fibrosis does. It slowly strips away. It takes the small things at first, so small that you don't even notice it. And then it takes bigger things, and you realise that you can no longer shower because every single drop feels like a massive weight on you. It takes your independence. It takes your looks, of which I am vain, and lo and behold, if anyone knew that I was ill just from looking at me, I am not happy. And then sometimes it takes your humour as well. But thankfully, I am surrounded by comedians and jokers, so that never happened to me. End-stage cystic fibrosis is a hard, tiresome, awful journey, and I wouldn't want anyone to have to go through it. I am so fortunate to have come out the other side, to have travelled the world, to have been to the likes of Morocco, the US, Australia, New Zealand, a 3-month tour around Europe. I've watched my nieces and nephews grow up, and I've welcomed a new nephew into the world. And it's allowed me to marry my soulmate in 2015, the man who stood by my side through all of our dramas. But I'm only here today thanks to the work of the Cystic Fibrosis Trust, the research that they do into drug therapies, the training that they give the medical teams in the UK, and to my amazing doctors and nurses too. I also have to thank my donor, who chose to save another after she had passed, and her family, who at a time of utter devastation chose to follow her wishes. Today, average life expectancy for a cystic fibrosis patient is 41. This means survival for someone with CF is currently at 41 years old, which also means that according to the statistics in the UK CF registry, currently half of these people with cystic fibrosis will live to over 41 years old, although a baby that is born today can be expected to live much, much longer. And it rises because of wonderfully generous, kind people like yourself, who give in order for a new generation to never have to go through the journey that I have went through. The one downside of having lived through and having lived this long with CF is that I've lost too many friends to count. But each of them inspire me every single day. They give me fight and they give me strength. Now, don't get me wrong, I would not change my life for anything. I have an innate ability to find positivity in absolutely everything, and without cystic fibrosis, I wouldn't be the person I am sat in front of this video camera today. It's made me tenacious, determined and strong. It makes me see today and live in the now. However, I'm greedy too. And although I've been given the most precious gift I'll ever receive in life, I would also like one more gift. And that would be to see a cure for cystic fibrosis. It's a matter of when and not if they find a cure, as my dad has always said. And I stand or sit here in front of this video because each of us can make that possible. Thank you.